sent Mارمينا and Mikhail to start the church back in 1969. And of course, all the memories of St. Mary, the church in Bsídnى, all of us, we have had some great memories there, and everyone has come to Australia, or to Sydney especially, has visited the church, and it is a mother church for all of us, because it's the first church in Australia, but also has a lot to do with our history here in Sydney. I know that in 1995 there was negotiation about moving from Bsídnى area because of the airport plans for having runways at that time, and also for the noise level was very disturbing to our worship. And at that time I was ordained, and we have had a committee to look after this project, to negotiate with the government and with the authorities at that time. We had two people, and Mikhail, I'm quite sure of us here would know him, and Bsídnى. They have done a wonderful job, because through the negotiation we were able to compensate our church in a way or another into a different place and a better place. At that stage, they had an agreement to take our church and also to take the houses around the church, because we have had houses as well, and to give us options to relocate somewhere else. They have given us three options. They have given us a place or a location in Dalwich, another one in Tempe area, and the third one in Bibexley. And Bibexley was a public school at that time. And each one of them has advantage and disadvantages. So the church committee at that time, we had meetings, okay, to see which is the best option for our church to relocate. Of course, every location or every site has a dollar value. So we have to pay an amount of dollars to make the balance. The cheapest place was Bibexley. And that's why we said we need to, because we didn't have enough money, it was millions of dollars to relocate in Dalwich or in Tempe, especially Tempe around Princess Highway, and there's a new area about walls and stuff, it's back inside, and we didn't have enough growth. We thought about growing. If we need to grow, there's not enough place there, and also it was so expensive for us, and the same thing for Dalwich. So God has chosen that place for us to come and to relocate here, and we thought about the dynamic at that time, because most people, they come from different areas around Bibexley area. I remember the amount of money that we had to pay to make the balance. It was about $600,000 to take this place, and they take Bsídnى and the houses belongs to the church. But God has performed a miracle even during that time, because during the negotiation, because of the council conditions, and Mikhail has done a wonderful job, and God has helped us even we didn't pay the $600,000. So we took the land and we took the place, and we thought about how this is going to be a good place of worship for our community. We got it in 1996. And I remember, maybe I don't know if Tony can remember the history or not, but we had a principal at St. Mark's, Dr. can remember as well, came here after we got that land to see if St. Mark's school can start here in this area. And as a church, we offered that place. But of course, we, as a church, at that time, we didn't have any plans to have a school on site. We didn't have any plans. We had different plans. From 1996, we started to think about how can we offer our community. So we thought about we need to look after our children once they are born, or once they are here from 2 years old to 3 years old until they graduate to university. We thought about childcare center, we thought about school, and we thought about have different activities for the church, but because of the space we couldn't think about everything at the same time. So I think myself and Abuna Samuel, we spent the whole night until 4 o'clock in the morning writing to His Holiness Pope Shenouda a letter telling him our dreams at the site. And guess what? On the same day, His Holiness Pope Shenouda replied back through Amba Yohannes, called Abuna Samuel, on the same day, asking for more information about our dreams about him. So we decided what to do as a church committee, and we said we need to go to the council. And we stayed in the council from 1996 to 1998, fighting to get approval for the site, because the neighbors were not happy to have us here. But I think we have seen God's hands in this process, and also we have seen how the Coptic community got together and hand to hand. And I remember all the priests, they used to go and meet mayor, and we had actually great unity together to fight for the site and also to fight for our rights here. But I would like to thank the Rugby Council and the authorities. They were very supportive to get that site for us. And we got approval for childcare center, for a chapel, for a school, for 210 students, for a new church, and also for a hall, and for 100 car spaces on site. And we start to put tenders to get like the right builder for it. And we've done this in 1998 and we finished by 1999. At that time, the church committee, after good approval from His Holiness to start the school, we started the school in 1999. And I'll never forget the effort of Abuna Antonio's helping us to start the school. And he has provided all the knowledge and all the help and all the assistance to have a sister school working together hand in hand to build the community. In 1999, we started the school in the 15th of February 1999. Look at the dates. This is the entry. This is the feast of the entry of our Lord Jesus Christ to the temple, or the presentation to the temple. And we started at the same time having the construction for the church, as you see, and we thought about the church, how the church will be different, what we are going to give to the Australian community, not to the Coptic community, to the Australian community. So we said to ourselves, we need to have a traditional church, and all the treasures of the church will be displayed in this church. And I think if I was by myself, I was a new priest, I wanted to be able to get that artistic church, and all this credit for Abuna Samuel. This is the fact. So Abuna Samuel actually is very artistic, as you see, in taking photos and painting and everything. So we've done it in a way to make it very well presented to church in terms of the tradition and to give the treasures everywhere. Even we were fighting about the church bells and all that stuff, but we had made like a place for it, but we couldn't get it, of course. But we thought about how it looks like. So in the church inside, it is a journey to see different things. You can see inside the 12 pillars, and this is the 12 disciples. And you can see domes on the altar, and many domes in the middle of the church. You can see a dome while we are going out from the church, going out. And this is, I would say, St. Basturius has done such a wonderful job as an architect to work with another architect in his office to produce this beautiful church for us. They understood everything, and he used to stay hours and hours talking to us and talking to the church committee and talking to individuals to get it right. And I think they produce a wonderful and artistic church in all aspects. And the school was opened on the 15th of February 1999. The church was opened on the 15th of February 2001. And great Papula was dedicated by His Holiness to open the church with the dignitaries, and it was really a wonderful day. And I've seen the St. Mary's community and all other people as well to get together that day, and it was really a great day. And then we started to look into the painting. So the first time we finished the iconostasis, and then Abuna Samir has produced his talents in this area. So we have the stained glasses, as you see, and the stained glasses, he put the 7 major feasts of our Lord Jesus Christ on one side, the other side, the 7 minor feasts. We put around the church as well the Sundays of the Great Lent. You know, the Sunday, the 6 Sundays of the Great Lent. We go into that journey, and we have put also some miracles on the other side. That's in addition to the life of the feasts of St. Mary in the balcony. We have put this in the balcony, in addition to the procession, the icons for the procession of the cross all around the church. And of course, Abuna Samir went to Carol with Marco Mawa to get the right painter, or the one who was going to paint. And he was a disciple of Isaac, and I'm quite sure you heard Isaac. He was like one of the professors of Coptic iconography in Egypt. His name is Ashraf, and now he's in Memphis. He came especially, and he has painted all the icons for us, and it was really a great finish. And then in the 1st of December 2002, His Holiness Pope Shinoda has come with many bishops, and the Daniel is here as well, has consecrated our church. And that feast will be tomorrow, and with the feast of Osman and Daniel as well. And I think His Holiness Pope Shinoda, he said at our church good words, and he said that iconostasis is magnificent. I remember his words. And he said to us, أنا عايز أبخركم. Yeah, أنا خايف عليكم من حسب عايز أبخركم. That's his words. And of course, there was a great day for all of us to see the church. Anyway, after that, I went to Egypt. Look how it sticks to his mind, his own. I went to Egypt for a visit in 2003. And then I want to register with the secretary of His Holiness of Shinoda, and he was introducing me to him. He said, I'm from Mikhail from Sydney, and he said to me, from which church? And I said to him, from St. Mary. And he said to me, this is the church that Amba Daniel was in front of. I said to him, yes. He said to me, this is the best church in the Maghreb. appreciate the effort how the church was consecrated on that day. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any photos of the consecration, and that's a weakness. We don't have much of the Consecration, especially few photos, but we need to call like more servants. Video, maybe the video will be the compensation for that. So that church is so precious to all of us because we can see St. Mary has St. Mary has appeared here in Biblically. Okay. But I would say to you, this is something I need you to know. Always in the big church and the small church, we can see spiritual things never happened before. I'm not allowed to say it, but I can feel the special blessing in this place, in the small church and the big church, and maybe when the time allows me to say it, I will say it. So we are so blessed to have a church like that, and we are so blessed to worship the Lord in this place, and I can see miracles in this place through you and through your support, and God will bless all of you through the blessings of St. Mary and St. Mary. And then we have in the small church 2 altars, altar for Pope Carlos the first, Pope Carlos the sixth, and St. Joseph the Righteous and Cosmano the Name. So we have plenty of blessings here, and may God bless you all, and please pray for us to keep our church safe. Glory to God for you.